You ever notice how you keep attracting the same type of person? Emotionally distant, inconsistent, present, then gone. Different face, same pattern. Most people call it bad luck or timing, but psychology tells a different story. If you've ever felt deeply drawn to people who can't fully show up, this might explain why. Emotionally unavailable partners aren't always cold. They're often intense, charming, hard to read. They pull you in, then pull away. And that push-pull creates attachment. Here's the uncomfortable truth. We're often attracted to what feels familiar, not what's healthy. If you grew up having to earn attention, read moods, or wait for emotional availability, your nervous system learned that love feels uncertain. So when someone is emotionally unavailable, it doesn't feel wrong. It feels known. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement. You don't get connection consistently, so when you do, it feels stronger, more exciting, more addictive. That's why emotionally unavailable people can feel magnetic. There's also the "I can fix this" trap. Many people who attract unavailable partners are deeply empathetic. They sense pain. They hold space. They believe that with enough patience, love will unlock the other person. But that belief often comes from early experiences where love wasn't guaranteed. Here's the shift most people miss. Chemistry is not the same as compatibility. Chemistry is nervous system activation. Compatibility is nervous system safety. One feels intense, the other feels calm. And if you're used to intensity, calm can feel boring at first. So the real question is this: are you attracted to emotionally unavailable partners because they excite you? Or because part of you is still trying to earn emotional safety? Because once safety starts feeling attractive, emotionally unavailable people lose their grip. They say it's boring. They say it's a waste of time. They say, how can you watch the same thing again? But what if rewatching isn't about entertainment at all? What if it's about something much deeper? If you've ever felt drawn to familiar stories, familiar scenes, familiar voices, this video might explain more about you than you expect. Today, we're breaking down the psychology of people who rewatch the same content. And by the end, you might stop judging yourself for it. Familiarity and the nervous system. Let's start with the most important piece. When you already know what's going to happen, your brain relaxes. There's no suspense, no uncertainty, no emotional ambush waiting around the corner. Psychologists call this reduced cognitive load. Your brain doesn't have to work as hard to predict outcomes. And when the brain works less, the nervous system feels safer. That's why rewatching feels calming. In a world full of constant alerts, breaking news, and unexpected stress, familiar content offers something rare: predictability. You already know who survives. You already know how the story ends. Nothing bad can suddenly happen without warning. And for many people, that sense of safety matters more than novelty. Why stress increases rewatching? There's a reason people rewatch content more during difficult periods of life. During stress, anxiety, burnout, or emotional overload, the brain becomes hyper-alert. It's scanning for threats. It's preparing for problems that haven't even happened yet. New content demands attention. It demands emotional investment. It demands energy. Familiar content does the opposite. It tells your brain, you've been here before. You survived this. You can rest. That's why people often return to shows they watch during safer or happier times. The content becomes associated with emotional memory. You're not just watching a show. You're reconnecting with a version of yourself that felt more stable. Control and emotional regulation. Rewatching also gives you control over your emotional experience. You know which scenes are comforting. You know which moments are funny. You know exactly when relief is coming. There are no surprises. And that control is powerful, especially for people who feel overwhelmed in daily life. Psychologists see this as a form of emotional self-regulation. Instead of numbing out or dissociating, you're choosing a known emotional pathway. You're guiding your nervous system toward calm. That's not weakness, that's awareness. But I've already seen it. Here's something most people miss. When you rewatch something, you're not actually watching the same thing twice. You're watching it as a different person. Your experiences have changed. Your perspective has shifted. Your emotional state is different. So different lines hit harder. Different scenes suddenly make sense. Moments you ignore before now feel important. Rewatching becomes reflective. Almost like reading a book at a different stage of life. The story stays the same. You don't. The link to introspection and depth research suggests that people who enjoy rewatching familiar content tend to be more introspective. They process internally. They reflect deeply. They revisit thoughts and emotions rather than chasing constant stimulation. For these people, novelty isn't always exciting. Sometimes it's exhausting. They don't need the world to constantly surprise them. Their inner world already has enough complexity. That's why familiar content doesn't feel boring to them. It feels grounding. Comfort versus avoidance. Now, here's an important distinction. Not all rewatching comes from the same place. Some people rewatch content because it genuinely restores them. It helps them feel balanced, calm, present. Others rewatch because new experiences feel overwhelming, because uncertainty triggers anxiety, because emotional risk feels too high. One is comfort. The other is avoidance. And the difference matters. The question isn't asterisk. Do you rewatch content? Asterisk. The question is asterisk. How do you feel afterward? Asterisk. Do you feel calmer, clearer, more regulated? Or do you feel stuck, disconnected, and withdrawn? That answer tells you everything. Why society misunderstands this behavior. We live in a culture that glorifies novelty. New shows, new trends, new content every second. So rewatching gets labeled as lazy or uncreative, but psychology sees it differently. Choosing familiarity in an overstimulating world can be a sign of emotional intelligence. It means you know what stabilizes you. You're not chasing stimulation just to keep up. You're choosing what actually works for your nervous system. You're not broken. So if you're someone who rewatches the same comfort show, who puts on familiar videos in the background, who finds peace in stories you already know, you're not stuck. You're not boring. You're not failing to move on. You're regulating. You're grounding. You're choosing safety over chaos. And in a world that never stops demanding attention, that's not a flaw. That's self-awareness. Closing question. So tell me, do you rewatch the same content because it genuinely comforts you? Or because right now, new things feel like too much? Let me know in the comments. And if this video felt uncomfortably accurate, the next one will explain another habit most people misunderstand about themselves.